strategical game, like it's chess, always giving you more and nothing less. Okay, so we in here today early. We got about 15 minutes for the stream. Say what up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning. All right. Now, I want to get really straight into what we're going to look at today. And it's very important. So, first things first, I save everything 3 different ways. I save it as the PDF. I save it as the non-reader view. And I save a Word document version. Okay, let me go here. The PDF screen. Okay, that, so you can see the back. It's a little choppy. Apologize. So this is how I do everything. You want 3 saves because they change things. Okay? What I mean by that is just 3 or 4 days ago, I asked, are paychecks demand deposits by definition? Okay? They're saying that they said before paychecks are considered demand deposits. Now they're saying paychecks are not explicitly defined as demand deposits. So then let's look at what's a demand deposit. A demand deposit is a type of bank account that allows you to access your money at any time without prior notice to the bank. This means that you can withdraw funds from your demand account at any moment, making it ideal for daily expenses. Demand deposit accounts such as checking and savings accounts typically refer to low or no interest rates. Okay, that's what they say. Can we go to the CFR? Let's go to the Code of Federal Regulations. So let's go back and go to here, the definitions, really quickly. Guys, be quiet. I'm not doing it with you today. Knock it off. So if we go here, it says the unpaid balance of money or its equivalent received by a depository institution. Well, then I ask you, what is ADP? Nope. So let's look up what ADP by payroll what that actually means. Payroll service, data processing, large provider of payroll services, handles various functions such as processing paychecks, taxes, digital W-2 1099s. Approximately 1 in 6 employees receive their paychecks through ADP, which is a payroll, the player of payroll and human resource services. So let's scroll down. So on the behalf of the businesses, they pay you for your labor. Ultimately is what that's saying. So why that's important is because there's still, let's see, so let's see, is ADP a bank? So it's a bank. It is a comprehensive global provider of human capital resources. So let's see here. They claim they don't operate as a bank, so they're the facility, or they're the passer of the money. So by definition, they're saying that it's not classified as a demand deposit, which would then change the game because they're saying a demand deposits may be in the form of checking accounts, certified checks, cashiers, tellers, and officers' checks. So is payroll? See, I don't know. I'm thinking, but I thought a payroll check is a certified check. See, now they're saying a paycheck, which is ultimately what they're giving you, is a personal check issued by. That's what I'm saying, guys. You got to read the fine print. A paycheck is a personal check, but a certified check is a personal check that has been verified by the bank to ensure that the account holder has sufficient funds to cover the check amount. So, in essence, a paycheck, in a way, is a certified check. So they're saying a paycheck is not guaranteed by the bank. That's the difference between a certified check and a paycheck. So that's intensity. But let's get back to what we were talking about here. That's intensity, chat. That's intensity, chat. It's crazy, 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 crazy. So let's look at this again. Apologies. We're going to go back to how much money is there in the world. This is going to be our first episode breakdown. So we're going to see why it's important to understand what those paychecks and personal checks mean. So M0, M1, and M2. As you can see, this is in a Word document, so we can highlight, edit, do the things that we want to do. Key case in point. Physical currency is top dog money. So M0 money. Okay? Notes and coins held by public. It's the easiest form of liquidity. That's why it's called the highest. It's the highest form of spend. So it's the easiest way to spend to buy something is physical currency in circulation currently. Okay? So then when we get to M1 money, they're talking about demand deposits, checking accounts, and other instantly accessible funds. So when you're looking at payroll, when you get the deposit, that's instantly accessible funds. They don't want to call it demand deposits, but it's still a form of demand deposit, whether they like it or not. Checking accounts and other accessible funds. Okay, so those are easy, very, very high liquidity, meaning you can almost spend it as quickly as you can spend cash, unless somebody wants cash on hand as preferred, then you can. Then we're going to get to these M1 money plus M1 plus near money assets. So it's almost like money. So savings deposits, money market funds, and small time deposits. So that's medium way to spend. It usually takes a day to clear, maybe a little longer, etc. And then number 3, large institutional deposits and repurchase agreements. Broad measure, large-scale financial assets. Understand, I only highlighted one out of all of these. This is the most important point of today's lesson is M0, physical currency in circulation. The reason being is because everything that follows under it comes from zero money. So M0 trickles down to M1, M1 trickles to M2, M2 trickles to M3. Now, if the key takeaway is this is what it is globally, and liquid money is what it is existing. Okay, so you split that among what they're saying 8 billion people. The values in the trillions on scale, world population, etc. They're saying each share of the person is 15 grand. Is that what that is? So the $15,000 actually means it's to imagine a world where everyone is basically given a $15,000, but in reality it's far less. Okay? So you're looking at what everybody else globally, even from babies as well. So that's not really an accurate sentiment of what's going on if you were to split all that up in between all people. So essentially you're seeing this number is what is cash value. That's what I want you to play in the head. Get your notes. So you want to make another notepad, and I'll have that in the educational lesson when we start doing these breakdowns. So let's go to the next one, because what we're seeing with the how much money is in the world is the same exact one. I want to now open another Google Doc off of this computer. One second. Usually I have them loaded up, and then we're going to go back to the 4 categories Sometimes it denies it from opening up. Why is it not letting it open up, bro? What's going on with this thing? Let me see if I can figure out how to bring this back in, chat. I apologize. It is not letting me pull this particular file in, which I don't know why. So hopefully this takes me back to the home screen. I apologize. Let's upload another file. And then we're gonna, what do we open? The 4 categories of money is what we open first, but how is the 4 categories of money open first? But it's under how much money is there in the world? This. Oh, that's why you save it multiple times as well, because you just don't know what sometimes goes on when you're saving a bunch of stuff. It's better not pull up the same thing. There it is. How much money is in the world? Shocking figures. Okay, so we got to look at this as well. We're seeing 471 trillion. Estimate of total personal wealth across 56 markets. There's $471 trillion in there. Approximate 2025 cash value. Why that's astounding is because the document we just closed said 123,000 or 123 trillion. This saying 471 trillion. You see how documents are definitely telling you 2 different answers. You gotta actually dive in and not just read one article. Granted, this is talking about money from M0 to M3, but there is a substantiated difference between 123 liquid cash and actually having almost quad or showing more than quadrillions of money that's being moved that they're not talking about. So in essence, you want to keep pulling in 3 minimum different sources, and they gotta be, this actual document came from, so when you go to find it, this is the importance of doing it. This is a non-reader view of the Forex. So this is coming from an actual trading company. So we're gonna open this back up on Microsoft Edge. And you'll see why it's important, because sometimes they don't even keep these documents up anymore. They were removed. So this is coming to EBC Financial. Okay, so they do trading. They teach trading. And yes, this looks kind of crazy. That's why you do a non-reader view and reader view as well, is because you want to get all of the information so they can't say you made this shit up. Excuse my language. So when you scroll down through all this at the bottom, it'll have a foot stamp. The foot stamp on the bottom is a website foot stamp. That's the main thing that I want you to catch about that. So with that being said, chat, demand deposits, okay, which are our paychecks, are going to soon be moved from physical cash into digital currency. This is the big thing that I want you to see. There has been a cease and desist to the DTCC. Let's read that. And you're going to have to do your research to find it, guys, because they're going to try to shield this from you. They change shit all the time. Come on. See how this is loading up super slow. Let's go. Chat, I apologize. I don't know if it's froze or not. There we go. It froze up. So they're acting like, no, nah, 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 nah. There it is. See, that's not, no, I mean currently. Where's a recent one? See, that's saying, oh, it's up. There it is. I'm gonna find this real quick. Nope, they're trying to relate something different. See, let's now it's trying to the third parties. Party website because Google's gonna start not letting you see what you want to see. Zero Hedge is one that I often go to. Shout out to the brother RX. So we're gonna do a quick search if they let us. So we're gonna go to channels, economics, and see if we can search. Come on now. Jesus, internet's moving slow. There's gotta be a search, bro. So what we're gonna do is Zero Hedge and let's go here. Zero Hedge is talking about the DTCC because this is something that I read and now I didn't save it. That's why I'm telling you guys it's important to save everything. See, now it's called a conspiracy website. This shit crazy. There it is. I know I'm not tripping. Tokenized U.S. Treasuries, y'all. This was read in late December. I know I'm be tripping. You gotta save this shit. So what you do here is you Control P for print, and it's gonna do a ability to print to the, through a printer or a PDF. You've always printed PDF. You print two different ways. The PDF is gonna give you the website. What are we doing? It's still loading, y'all. And you hit more actions to go to immersive reader view, and that'll give you just the words, none of the added BS. This all this extra ads. It'll be removed. But if you do immerse reader view, it removes the foot tags from all the websites. The goal is to make sure you're getting all the tags. What is taking this so long? So yeah, chat, we gonna end up getting up out of here after this because I feel like this is taking longer than expected. that's why pop-ups are horrible. Like all this shit is just added on for money. All right, let's do this. Stop acting like you're gonna load something up and hit immersive reader view. So I'm gonna get rid of some of these. See if I can give the computer some more ability. I know that streaming and recording is definitely causing it to slow down.
Tuka, you have live lesson.
I'm not smiling, dude.
You're late.
This is 3 sheets.
Just
You can worry about that after. So then this is going to be titled 4 quadrillion dollar roll out tokenized US treasuries. So when you save this, it's going to give the date and it's a PDF. Let's turn this off. Then we're going to try this Control B again to save the website, and it's going to be called non-reader view. And the purpose of non and I said it, you have to stop doing the unique change or close. You can't just be getting up and getting on your live lessons. I hate when you do. I dislike when you do that. Prop it on. So we have the non-reader view version of PDF. So we have the timestamp, and then you can open up a Word document to highlight what you want out of the article, so you can know where you're going to get information. I'm not worried about zero heads right now. Okay, so why that is key, if they are rolling out tokenized treasuries, treasuries are M2, M3 money. I think it's M3 money. Well, let's look it up. Guess. You got a computer in front of you. So securities are classified as possibly M2 money. That's a level right under cash. So what are securities then? That'll determine what assets they fall into. So we're all learning this together. That's why we're doing this chat. We gotta set it up. That seems really flaky. So the Motley Fool not really judge of well, right or wrong. So let's get back into this. This computer moves so slow, bro. Oops, he's got live lesson. We're gonna have to get back on this another time, chat. itself or future purposes are all classified as M2 money. The reason why that is a big thing at play, ladies and gentlemen, is because digital currency is going to be replacing a lot of this stuff, and we'll talk more about that in the near future. So, the thing that we have to think about today is the classes of money and knowing that M0 is all lit cash. It's stuff that you get paid, paychecks that you cash to put in a personal banking account or deposits into the bank accounts. And that money is no longer being backed by the world. The world is choosing to find a material to back it by. So immediately the value of our cash will drop if you don't start to move that money. And it doesn't matter if you hold M2, M3, M4, M5, you have to figure out where you want to move these funds from M0 to 3 prior to these dollars going up. Once again, you want to do it prior to the dollars blowing up. Because if you don't do it prior to that, you can just pretty much forget about it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll do some better episodes and hopefully we can get the latency and stuff fixed so we can start running it at a better frame. Appreciate you. Take care.